Hello everyone, Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. I'm just sitting doing a bit of crochet on the blanket. That's what I do in the morning. Excuse this cough, I can't seem to get rid of this cold. And you can't help but spreading things like this because you don't know, you're infectious before you even get any symptoms. So, but anyway, like I say, I do things like this, bits of crochet and that in the morning, and then knitting and things from in the afternoon and later on. So I just sat down, thought I'd do a little bit of this blanket and use up the next ball. But in the meantime, I was at a knitting natter yesterday, seeing my friends, and my friend Anne, who I pick up with Molly. I pick up Molly and I pick up Anne as well. We go to the knitting natter, and then she asked me if I could do a cover for her. This was Anne asked me if I could do a cover for her bus pass. So I sat yesterday afternoon when I got home, and I made her this little cover. Just one little popper down there. And I just used my bus pass because I have a bus pass exactly the same as what Anne has, and in your little card to go inside, because she had a plastic one on and it was all ripped and torn and that. And I think I could have made this a little bit. I used the card. I just measured the width of the card, and it measures. I've got a tape measure here. I think it measures about 3 1/4 inches. Just slightly, very slightly over the 3 1/4 inches. So I made the little pouch to measure 3 1/2 inches. But I think I could have done it a little bit, not quite as long, because that part there where the cord is, I can fold that over a little bit and still have that much left on the end. So I could have made it a little bit smaller, but I wasn't sure. I made a chain of, I think it was 45 stitches. Yes, I made a chain of 45 stitches, one for turning, so I was working on 44. And it's just single, ordinary double crochet, single if you're in the United States or some other country, single crochet. And I just crocheted until it measured, it's going across this way, till it measured 3 1/2 inches. So the whole thing measures 3 1/2 inches, and then I put a little popper on. I don't think I quite got that in the centre. I thought it looked like the centre, but I think it could have been done with moving over this, putting it in the centre there. I think that's more like the centre. It's not quite, it's near enough anyway. So I'll give that to my friend when I go to my quiz tonight. I'll give it to her tonight. And like saying, for anyone that wants to make a little one like that, like I'm saying, it's 40. I think I used, I think if I did another one, I wouldn't probably do these for orders or anything like that. There's no lining or anything in it. It's just the crochet. And I think if I did another one, I'd do about 39 chain and work on 38, because I don't think I needed it quite as long as what I have, because I worked it that way on, I was working going backwards and forwards that way on, so I can make it a little bit shorter because of the space when there's about that much space that I didn't need, and that extra when you're folding it. So about 38 would probably be about right. And I used the crochet hook. It had the old English size 9 on it, which size 9 actually is 3.75 millimeters, but it had 3.50 millimeter on as well as size 9, so they must use the equivalent of size 9 as both for 350 and 375. But I think it was the old English size 9 one, because the 350 is a little bit slightly thicker. Because I wanted a smaller stitch, more closed up. I didn't want it open, you know, like, because I wasn't putting a lining in it. So for anyone that might want to make it, it's that simple. Nothing to it, and just one little popper on there. That was easy. It was easier putting the popper on because I didn't have to go through a lining as well, like I do with some other things. So I'm going to just sit here and do a bit of this. I do have some other things. I think I have a notion pouch I haven't sewn up. That's downstairs, I think. I'll have to get that finished and get that sewn up, and that would be 2 of those I have to put on my shop. When I make these sort of things, like these coasters, notion pouches and everything else, I always use cotton. I don't use acrylic, because sometimes, you know, especially if you're doing like circles, I've done mandalas before, and you know, you get round and round, it gets larger and round, and sometimes it might go a little bit wavy, or where you need to press it to flatten it out. And the same with these things. When I made this, these ends here were sort of curled up like that, and I didn't like it. With cotton, you can press it with steam, and it helps to straighten things out. The same with coasters like mandalas. You can press them, but you can't with acrylic. And they look things like this look much better done in cotton, actually. So that's why I do prefer to use cotton all of the time. That's why I never use anything else for making these sort of things, and coasters, and I have done the phone pouches for either hanging down around your neck or across your shoulder. I've done passport covers as well, and I always use cotton for all of those sort of things, because cotton is best. Like I'm saying, you can press it, you can flatten something out on it, which if you do that with acrylic, you ruin it. So if you want to see more anytime, thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll show you anything else I make anytime. So bye for now.